So you mean to tell me this is the first one? Usually it would take like 3 or 4 days to get to an amazing movie. How does that work? Well, because we're talking about Studio Ghibli, or whatever it's called. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, bro. Like, I knew I was probably going to be in for something good when I put this in the schedule, but I was not expecting the first movie from this company to be this good. This amazing, even. And even though it's late at night and I should probably get ready for bed, screw it. I'm making this review now because I want everyone to go see this movie right now. All of you. But whatever you do, if you're watching the English dub, watch the 2005 version. Because the original 1985 English dub, it's from a company that doesn't exist anymore, and it's crap. No offense to Cam Clark, but that dub is crap. But thankfully, this first time watch, I watched the English dub of the 2005 version. And oh man, well, where do I even begin? Well, I have a pretty long review for this one, so let's just dive in. Please excuse the background stuff. What's up, what's happening, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mr. Station Message for anything and everything animation, including TV and movies, and especially anime. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to my review of the first ever movie from Studio... I've heard it pronounced two ways. I've heard it pronounced Ghibli and Ghibli. I'm just going to call it Ghibli just for simplicity's sake. If it's wrong, I apologize. Studio Ghibli's first movie, Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. Now, I was expecting it to be good because it is Studio Ghibli and it's in collaboration with Disney. But I was not expecting it to be this amazing, this polished, this high quality, like right out of the gates. Like, again, like I said, it usually takes like 3 or 4, maybe 5 days to really reach something that's this high quality. Rarely on this channel do we ever start with anything that's close to a masterpiece like this. I think the last time we did was when I reviewed the first Superman, back in DC Live Volume 2. So, yeah, needless to say, it's a pretty exciting and very rare occasion, and we have a lot to talk about, so strap yourselves in. This is going to be a long review, even without spoilers, so here's my review for Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. I hope you enjoy as much as I enjoyed this movie. Let's begin. How is this only the first Studio Ghibli movie and already this amazing out of the gate? How? I was expecting some rough edges like most starters of any company's catalog have. But despite only being the beginning of this company's legacy, again, this is their first ever animated feature, it has so much polish and so much emotionally powerful, impressive storytelling that it even rivals classic Disney. Yes, this rivals Renaissance Disney. This rivals Golden Era Disney. Which is ironic coincidence I make that comparison because Disney themselves re-released this 1984 anime movie in 2005 with a proper English dub full of celebrity voice actors. A tradition that usually is something that a lot of people scoff at, but trust me when I say that Studio Ghibli are one of the people that actually does it correctly. Because this trend continues all throughout this company's history. Every single one of these movies we get to look at in this marathon, we're looking at the Disney English dubs, and all of them feature big-name celebrities in one way or another. Heck, next time when we talk about Castle in the Sky, we have Cloris Leachman. So, okay, enough of that. Here's your basic synopsis. When Princess Nausicaä and her people of the Valley of the Wind, because that's where the title comes from, are caught in between a war between two power-hungry nations hell-bent on destroying everything in their path to satisfy their own dark ambitions, she must journey across many lands and the dreaded toxic jungle to find a way to save her people and the misunderstood insects, as their own world begins to crumble and die around them as an ancient beast of untold power begins to awaken. Before we dive deeper, we have got to start with this voice cast, because it is an impressive list of well-knowns. First, we have Alison Lohman as our main character, Princess Nausicaä, and she's most well known as the main character in the horror movie Drag Me to Hell. Yes, that is not a joke, and even more interesting, this is her first ever role. Patrick Stewart, Professor X, Star Trek, etc., etc. Uma Thurman, 1960s Batman's Catwoman, Chris Sarandon, Jack freaking Skellington, Shia LaBeouf, we all know who this guy is, Edward James Olmos, Admiral Adama from Battlestar Galactica, Mark Hamill, BTAS Joker, Trez MacNeille, yes, Lisa Simpson, Frank Welker, the current voices of Fred and Scooby in Scooby-Doo, and even the original Princess Ariel herself, Jodie Benson. Yes, even she is in this movie. And even more surprising is that they all deliver stellar performances in their roles, especially Lohman in her first ever role as Princess Nausicaä, and surprisingly enough, Shia LaBeouf as Aspel, who actually did a great job of conveying so many different emotions all throughout the movie. Like, when I heard Shia was in this English dub, I was a little bit worried because with Shia, it's a lot like Nicolas Cage. It's very hit or miss, but I'm happy to say this is one of his better roles, and he did a great job as this character, as Aspel. Also, Thurman is the antagonistic Kashana, who worked excellently as a villain, alongside Sarandon. Yes, Jack Skellington voices a bad guy, and it's as satisfying as you think it is. In short, the voice acting in this 2005 English dub of this 1984 anime movie is fantastic. Disney went out of their way to get people that are perfectly fit for these roles while also being big names. It's very impressive. But that's not all that's helping this first impression soar higher than the clouds. The animation is some of the most gorgeous, old-school, hand-drawn, cell 2D animation that I have ever seen, with so much intricate detail in every single frame. Oh, and since this is an anime movie, you get that classic amazing film grain on top of it that just adds so much to an image. The storytelling is spectacular and surprisingly much more adult than it looks on the surface. Many people like to pass off animation as just for kids. This is one of those movies I'm now going to point to as an example that it can be used great for adults too. And this movie has no swearing or gore or anything like that. There's only like one scene of blood, maybe two, and that's it. And yet it is one of the most adult and mature stories that I've seen in animation. And considering everything that I have seen up to this point, that's saying something. The runtime is perfect at less than 2 hours. I gave the DBZ movies credit for this, and I give credit to this one as well for that. The characters are superb and full of dimension. They may start out looking stereotypical, but once you get around halfway through the movie, then the characters really start to become their own and anything but one-dimensional cutouts. Especially Nausicaä. She is an amazing lead. The environmentalism message is well delivered and hits hard. Take note, SpongeBob's Last Stand. This is how you do it correctly. The atmosphere is amazing and fully immerses the audience into its world. Like, when this movie first opens on this desolate, abandoned city, and you see this one lone guy just walking through this desert, it sucks you in right away. And then you also have stuff like the first scene we meet Nausicaä, where she is in this cave, looking at this underground Ohm. That's literally what it's called. Don't say I'm mispronouncing it. It's literally called a gnome. And that one scene tells us everything about her character with little to no dialogue. It's genuinely impressive. The world building is an incredible mix of nature and technology, something that I've been told is a staple of Studio Ghibli movies, so this won't be the last time we highlight that. The final act is shocking. It is a lot more brutal and dark than you would ever expect it to be. It's not like Princess Mononoke or Tale of Princess Kaguya, or, as we're going to find out very shortly, in Grave of the Fireflies, from what I've been told. But it is a shocking final act with an ending that does end on a happy note, but it has a moment of ripping your heart out first. Again, like classic Disney. And the pure production values would put movies today to absolute shame. Not just in the animation or the voice cast, but just the pure storytelling. Like, so much of it feels original. It's not a carbon copy of anything else that we've seen before up to that point. And remember, this is from 1984. That just happened to be re-released in 2005. Think about that. And yeah, the production values of this movie put pretty much every modern animated movie these days to absolute shame. Unless you're K-pop Demon Hunters or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Those are the two exceptions to that rule. Everything else, to absolute shame. Its one and only problem, I kid you not, it's its only problem, is the pacing is a little inconsistent. I literally had to grasp at straws to find anything slightly negative about this movie. Literally anything. With the first 30 minutes being a slow burn, and the rest being either too slow or too fast. But that's literally it. And even then, it is fixed by the end of the movie, so it's barely even noticeable. Like I said, grasping at straws for anything to even try to critique here, because so much of it works so well. This movie is simply a mature and emotionally powerful work of art. I was expecting good, but I was not at all expecting it to be this genuinely impressive and beautiful. It's unlike anything that I have ever seen before in animation, and it had my full attention all the way through. Don't let the whole anime thing scare you away. This is a truly remarkable achievement of animated brilliance that deserves your watch. And this is only the first movie. No doubt, it's only going to get better as we keep looking through Ghibli's catalog throughout this entire month. I highly recommend this movie. If for whatever reason you've not seen it yet because you don't like anime movies, or you're not a fan of English dubs or anything like that, trust me, do it. Sit down, spend the 2 hours, you will be glad that you did. And that is why my final verdict for Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind is a much higher than expected, but extremely well deserved 9.5 out of 10. Literally, if it weren't for the pacing, this would be a 10. It is right there. Everything else about this movie is an incredible work of art. It's beautiful, it's tragic, it's dark, it's mature, and it shows right out of the gate what this company is truly capable of. And if this is only their first one, it's only going to get better from here. How much better? Well, I'll tell you guys all about next time when we talk about the second Studio Ghibli animated movie that just happens to feature Cloris Leachman in its English dub cast, with Castle in the Sky.